Tombs, the undercity of Indianapolis, languished in the eternal night of the lower avenue. Its residents lived in the shadows of the downtown spires, sunlight parceled out in dribs and drabs in the reflections of a better life. The tunnels beneath the city were old when Indianapolis was founded. Some whispered that this was the original Indianapolis and the overcity was built over it like some steam-fueled clockwork tombstone burying its past. My name is MauriceBroaddus. I'm a science fiction and fantasy author, author of a dozen books and over 100 short stories. And we find ourselves downtown Indianapolis, actually underground downtown Indianapolis, in a place called the Catacombs. I take the different tours around town, haunted Indianapolis, hidden stories of Indianapolis, any of those sort of tours. And then someone said that that the Catacombs were opening for tours. And I'm like, what are catacombs? My whole lives were built around here, right? Whole lives were lived around here. And so when I was down here in the Catacombs, I mean, yeah, my creepy mind goes, yeah, these are kind of like tombs. We're literally walking through tombs that could house a whole city of people. So when we first moved here, I think I was in 4th grade, and my first impressions was that this was a very segregated city. You know, in my imagination, how Indianapolis sort of worked was like there were these lines, these invisible lines that divided up the city. And so everybody had to stay within their certain boundaries, and people weren't meant to stray across these boundaries. And I couldn't quite figure out how the boundaries were set, or who put them there, or you know how everybody understood the rules of where they were supposed to stay. I started off as a horror writer. My early influences, you know, like I said, were Edgar Allan Poe and Stephen King and Clive Barker and Neil Gaiman. These were sort of some of my formative voices. You know, a lot of that horror stuff was just me working out a lot of rage issues, frankly. I was just angry at the world that we live in. I'm angry at the state that we find ourselves in. I'm angry at the injustices that are perpetuated on my people and continue to be perpetuated on my people. You know, I find myself just sort of trying to figure out, you know, why? Well, I mean, there comes a point where I have to do something with my anger. You know, frankly, I can't just stew in it. I can't just stay in that place of anger. In fact, I can't even stay in that place of just deconstructing the world around me either. Eventually, you have to build something. I'd written a story back in 2009 called Pimp My Airship. Well, one of the things I wanted to investigate with the story was this whole idea of telling the story through the ideas of an artist. In the tombs, gaslit lamps illumined every intersection, showering huddles of men in their flickering light as they shot dice. Old men huddled in puddles of light, drinking brandy and smoking cigars blunted with Chiba. Their garrulous conversations of the most impolitic kind filled the night with blusters of oaths. A twinge of jealousy at not being able to join in fluttered in Sleepy's chest. The key for us is to lay low. Sleepy took a tone, much like explaining something simple to a child with knowledge Allah. I figure we're just a couple of needles in a needle stack down here. One of my main characters is Sleepy. He's an open mic poet, unaware of how gifted he is, unaware of his voice, unaware of his potential, and frankly, unaware of his role in community. So what's it look like for him to lose that sense of it's all about I, and then suddenly engage the we? Just suddenly engage the fact that he's actually a part of a community. Just because he escaped the undercity, the tombs, others are still there. I have such a heart for artists because I believe that artists can change the world. I believe that artists can lead the way, can paint those pictures and can create those visions for change. One of the great things about working with the Kepler Institute is they allow me that room to dream, but I don't get to dream alone anymore. I get to dream in community. So now community dreams together about what the world could look like and what different systems could look like. And now we paint this vision together. When I look around at the relationships I have and the artists that I know, and the phenomenal artists that are here in the city, I'm just like, I'm blessed. I am blessed. And this city is blessed. And sometimes they don't even recognize how blessed they are. The artists that are in this city are a blessing for this city.